American Pickers Jersey John stuns fans with 94-year-old motor that survived for years after just a few ever made. John's post on Thursday featured a slideshow of snaps showing the silver-hued motor, which was made between 1929 and 1930. While the Indian Motor Company was best known for making motorcycles, this was an outboard motor, a propulsion system for boats. One photo showed the boat motor's logo was completely intact. Another showed that instructions for lubrication and starting cold motor were all engraved on the sides. Did you know that the Indian Motorcycle Company made outboard motors? John captioned the post, "Yep, they did. They made only 150 in 1929 and 1930. This Survivor is the nicest original paint motor I've ever seen and it's for sale. Please serious inquiries only." Fans flooded the comments section and were revved up with excitement over the discovery. "First glance, thought it was something out of Star Wars," one fan commented. "Wow, very cool. Always hoped I'd stumble on one," wrote another. "That is incredible," wrote a third. "There's one in a Vancouver Island, BC museum. Very cool," wrote a fourth. Jersey John, who grew up in New Jersey, started appearing on the show in Season 7 and quickly became a fan favorite, given his vast knowledge. In December 2023, it was revealed that he would become a permanent cast member on the show. Fans of American Pickers can mark their calendars, as the main star, Mike Wolfe, recently announced that new episodes are coming. Wolfe said that fresh episodes of the iconic reality show will premiere in October 2024. Mike, who created the show that premiered in 2010, quietly shared the exciting news in the comments section of his Instagram. A fan had commented on one of his posts, "Man, I miss your shows." "New ones starting in October," he wrote back. The announcement comes after a lengthy hiatus that left fans with bated breath for the show's return. American Pickers follows Wolfe and his team as they rove across the U.S., searching dusty garages, attics, and barns for valuable antiques. Wolfe and Danielle Colby originally co-hosted the show with Frank Fritz for 10 years before he abruptly left in 2020 without explanation. The reason Frank left the show had to do with his health. In addition to his back issues, he revealed he had Crohn's disease and experienced a stroke in 2022. This awful situation left him temporarily confined to a wheelchair. That said, Frank revealed his feud with then co-star Mike during a 2021 interview with the U.S. Sun. Frank said, "I haven't talked to Mike in 2 years. He knew my back was messed up, but he didn't call me up and ask how I was doing. That's just how it is." The show was tilted towards him 1,000%. "I can't even bend that far down to show you how much." That's fine. It's like you've got Aerosmith, and there's Steven Tyler, and he's the frontman. "I found my spot, I'm second, and he's number 1 on the show. That's no problem with me. Maybe he does have a problem." He even admitted, "I think Mike wants to get his brother Robbie in there to replace me. I don't know why he's behaving like that towards me." In July 2022, Frank, 58, had a stroke and was in the hospital for a few days. His former co-star and friend, Mike, shared the news on Instagram. "I have been very private in the past year in regards to Frank's life and the journey he's been on. There have been lots of opinions in regards to mine and Frank's friendship, and the show, but now is not the time to set the record straight. Now is the time to pray for my friend," the Pickers star wrote. "Frank has suffered a stroke and is in the hospital. Please keep him in your hearts and thoughts." Mike added that he was praying that Frank made it through this and that he loved him. He was hospitalized again when he suffered from seizures and pneumonia just a few months after his stroke. Frank was placed under a conservatorship in September 2022 after he could not take care of himself, which he is still under. Frank is doing just fine now health-wise, as a source recently told the U.S. Sun. Frank has been good, been eating ice cream and watching the Olympics. Fans have mourned his absence since 2020, saying the show is not the same without him, and the ratings have reflected this. Wolf highlighted Fritz's contribution to the show when replying to another Instagram user's recent comment. "Nothing will ever replace Frank, we miss him. Very much like y'all do," Wolf wrote. On a crisp autumn morning, the hum of anticipation buzzed through the small town of Laurel, New Jersey, as American Pickers crew set up their cameras and equipment at a secluded barn. Jersey John, one of the show's beloved pickers, had promised fans a surprise that would leave their jaws on the floor, and as always, he delivered. Rumors had swirled for weeks about a rare find hidden in the back of a dusty garage, and true to his reputation, Jersey John had tracked it down. What he unearthed was no ordinary relic, but a 94-year-old motor that had miraculously survived the test of time, a marvel that few had even heard of, let alone seen in person. The backstory of the legendary motor. The motor in question hailed from the late 1920s, a time when America was teetering on the edge of the Great Depression, but still buzzing with innovation. Manufactured by a small, now-defunct company named Cardinal Motors, this motor was part of a limited production run of only a few hundred units. Cardinal Motors had aimed to revolutionize farming with a compact, gasoline-powered engine that was both efficient and durable. Dubbed the Cardinal Flyer, the motor was intended to power everything from small tractors to irrigation pumps. Unfortunately, like many ambitious startups of the time, Cardinal Motors fell victim to financial struggles. The company folded before the Cardinal Flyer could gain widespread popularity. Most of the motors were lost to time, scrapped for parts during World War II, or left to rust in forgotten sheds. Experts believed that fewer than 10 working units existed today, making Jersey John's discovery a historic find. The journey to the barn. The journey to this rare motor began with a phone call. An elderly farmer named Ed had reached out to the American Pickers team, claiming he had something special. He spoke in cryptic terms, saying only, "I've got an old engine that's been in my family for generations. People said it was one of the first of its kind. Maybe you'd like to take a look." Jersey John, known for his keen eye and unrelenting curiosity, immediately jumped at the opportunity. After a long drive through winding country roads, he arrived at Ed's property, a sprawling piece of land dotted with dilapidated barns and overgrown fields. Inside one of the barns, buried beneath layers of cobwebs and rusted tools, sat the treasure. A Cardinal Flyer motor, remarkably intact despite its age. "It's like finding a unicorn in your backyard," Jersey John exclaimed as he brushed away the dirt from the motor's cast iron casing. "This thing is a survivor." Unveiling the motor on national TV. The episode documenting Jersey John's find aired to massive fanfare. As the camera panned over the motor, viewers were struck by its vintage beauty. The motor's signature crimson paint, though faded, still clung to the metal, and its brass fittings gleamed under the studio lights after a quick polish. Even the original Cardinal Motors insignia was visible, a proud bird in mid-flight, surrounded by the words, "Built for the future." John carefully explained the significance of the motor to his co-hosts and the audience. "This isn't just a piece of machinery, it's a snapshot of history," he said. "This motor represents a time when innovation and resilience went hand in hand." The true magic came when Jersey John attempted to start the motor. With Ed's blessing, he carefully oiled the moving parts, replaced the spark plug, and added fresh gasoline. As John cranked the starter handle, the audience held its collective breath. After a few tense moments, the motor sputtered to life, coughing and chugging like a stubborn old man, but running nonetheless. The roar of the Cardinal Flyer echoed through the barn, a triumphant sound that seemed to transcend decades. Fans took to social media to share their amazement, with comments like, "I can't believe something that old still works." And this is why I love American Pickers. History brought back to life. The motor's future. While Jersey John is known for selling many of his finds to collectors or museums, this motor's story took a different turn. After consulting with Ed and his family, John decided to preserve the motor's legacy by donating it to a local agricultural museum. The museum's director, a historian specializing in early American machinery, was overjoyed by the addition. "This motor is a game changer for our collection," she said. "It tells a story of perseverance, not just of the machine itself, but of the people who designed and used it." John worked alongside the museum staff to create an interactive display featuring the motor. Visitors could see it in action, hear its distinctive hum, and learn about its historical context. The display also included photographs and documents from Cardinal Motors, offering a glimpse into the lives of the engineers and laborers who brought the motor to life nearly a century ago.